And we are back. So, last we left off, the crew has finally found themselves out of initiative. We thought it was over. Turns out, it was not. Now we are finally out of initiative order. As it was both Moog and Zune, after you guys had slayed the last enemy, and Velree drained the Githyanki Knight, turning her into almost like a raisin. Zune succumbing to a more virulent form of contagion, some kind of perhaps crimson rot that was endued upon himself, and Moog succumbing to an aspect of the Red Death, the plague that has been stemming from this to begin with. Ironically enough, you guys aren't sure how this is transmitted, but there is a certain person in your party who does not appear to be affected. Her name starts with a V. She was also taken over once, but she has not had to make any rolls. Neither has she shown any symptoms.
I have to ask her.
I don't know if you guys would notice, but I'm just going to point it out that it's happened.
I probably wouldn't realize that because Rogar also had to deal with some shit and he's fine. So I probably wouldn't
That's true.
put two and two together.
He did not have a creature inside of his body, though. Velree did for a moment. She appears to be fine.
I'm assuming Trist would know and notice probably.
Maybe. Maybe.
You got an 87 passive perception.
The only thing is, is Trist a man of medicine?
I'm not.
Not really. So
I'm a man of
he's
science.
a man of science. But does he know how diseases work? Loosey goosey.
I have no idea what's all over Zune's body.
Nope. No idea.
You got boils on you.
Zune, there's going to be no check that any of you can make to determine what this is. I'm just going to tell you right now, you have no idea. Now, Zune, while you're probably not super familiar with diseases, you know what? Give me a medicine check. We'll see.
Yay.
You've got syphilis.
And that's a disadvantage, right?
You're at disadvantage. Mm-hmm.
So second level of exhaustion.
And you are permanently poisoned for now.
Got dysentery on the Oregon Trail.
13.
With a 13, you recognize symptoms of disease, obviously. You're like, I have something. You are not sure what you have. That's as far as your knowledge of this goes.
Zune is permanently poisoned right now.
She's permanently poisoned.
Like,
he is permanently
guys, I'm sick as boils, all over her
Doesn't
body.
look good. Doesn't look
I'm
good.
not sure if I'm...
Get away from us, you're contagious.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I don't know how this works.
You guys don't know. You have no idea.
I guess I will just walk behind everyone moving forward.
So there's a tube. The top of the tube was frozen.
It's frozen right now, yes. Rogar frozen.
The other top that got ripped off.
That was the one I was talking about.
That part froze.
So it wouldn't be too far from it. I'll say they're both probably frozen together.
No. I don't think we've accomplished our mission yet.
No, we have not.
What are you going to do?
We've accomplished
I got to figure out what the secret
murder.
Rogar has a sack of things that he managed to barely save from falling into oblivion, and I would have screamed on the inside as all the stuff I wrote disappeared forever. He has grabbed it, and
you also laughed because Rogar lost his arm.
Yes, there's also that. I probably would have. That would have been funny. But yes. Continue.
Rogar is going to take the kind of shattered lid.
Okay.
And he's going to try to reposition it onto the container.
Okay.
And then he'll use a frost breath and give
another one. So there's already kind of ice on it, and you kind of like shove it in, kind of crunch it together, and then you seal the top of it completely.
Rogar's going to hand Trist the bag of goodies.
Sack of things. It's heavy.
He's going.
Trist.
He's going to.
It's really heavy. you're like, oh, and you gotta get two hands on it to
two-hand this one.
You got two-handed. It's heavy. It'd be like 50 pounds. You know, if Rogar just does this, he goes here, and he hands it to you, and you go, oh,
here, my friend. He'll also, as any good adventurer, will loot the body of one.
Zamru.
If anybody wants a silver sword,
there is a silvered greatsword laying next to her.
Gives it to Velree.
Really?
Yeah.
You pick up the beautifully crafted silver greatsword. You say, Velree. As she's like licking the blood off of her talons, like she just looks.
Rogar's got the deep cleaver. He can't really use it, you know. Velree doesn't have like a.
Can she dual wield great swords like Elden Ring style?
She cannot. She cannot do that. I'm sorry.
She's strong enough.
If she had the dual wielder feat, she could. Oh, well, no, you can't.
That's true.
You can't because it specifically says you can't wield anything heavy in two hands.
That's true.
Yeah.
They hand it to. I would assume Velree, unless Moog wants it for some reason. It's a silvered weapon. I feel like it's better than her normal katana.
It's not just silver. Trist, you look look at it. It is old and it is beautifully forged and it is magical. It's not just a silver greatsword.
Yeah, because Rogar took psychic damage.
Now you do get, Trist, as you're kind of looking it over, that it might not be as effective in the hands of somebody not psychically inclined, but it is still a beautifully crafted, deadly weapon nonetheless.
Magical, and silvered, but not extra damage or anything.
Yeah,
right.
It's not going to deal the extra psychic damage like when Zamru was using it.
Yeah,
sell it.
You could. I mean, and this is like
some creatures are vulnerable to silver, though.
That's true. I will say that this weapon would be considered like this could go into a museum. This could be studied because it is something from the astral. It is something beyond your plane.
Who better study than Tristan?
It'll be nice in my wizard's tower one day.
Yes, exactly. In the wizard's tower.
I'm holding it goes.
Okay. Is it gonna? So are you giving it to Velree?
I'm giving it to Velree.
Velree,
so she can use it.
Looks at her old greatsword, throws it in the pool of nothing.
She still had a greatsword.
It's gone.
She doesn't have. She needs another weapon.
She grabs the greatsword in the hands of somebody not a Gith Yankee. This is just a +1 greatsword.
+1 greatsword. Okay.
Unfortunately,
silver.
It's considered silver. Yes.
Okay.
If you know there's a few creatures that it would make a difference, but
yeah, not a ton, but yeah, some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will add that.
What about her armor? How fancy is that?
Her armor is the equivalent of plate armor, but it is shredded into, as it is obviously not innately magical, as Velree has very much carved it up. Not much left. There is, however, the diadem on her skull.
Oh yeah.
Do one of you? I mean, Trist, are you going to look at it?
Yes.
You pull it free, and as you do, there was kind of like a glowing red rune that became just. It almost went to like a piece of amber as she passed from this world. As you pull it free, it begins to slowly, very dully, glow again, and this is considered a circlet of blasting. If anybody wants it.
What's that do exactly? Would you mind reading it?
It casts fuck. What's that? It's a second level spell.
Thunderwind?
No.
Scorching Ray?
Scorching Ray. It can cast
Scorching Ray, yeah.
It can cast Scorching Ray, I believe, once a long rest. Let me pull it up. Circlet.
I would offer it to Zune. Zune likes shiny things.
Yeah, it can be used once until the next dawn.
It requires attunement?
It is uncommon. It does not require 2 more.
Oh yeah, give it to Zune. Yeah.
It does cost your action to make it shoot. It's fine. Zune takes it, puts it on his necrosis head. As he puts it on, like a boil kind of pops as it comes on you. Oh God! The rest of you are like, ooh.
Disgusting.
You're like, ooh, no.
God, Zune's crying.
It's crying over there.
Ugly crying.
It's an ugly cry too.
Claire Danes cried.
No. It's bad.
Perhaps the waters will heal it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the Will-o'-the-Wisp and see if it'll do anything.
What are you gonna do?
Use the Will-o'-Wisp.
You're gonna use the wisp?
I wanna. Does it fix my boils?
You uncork it? Uncork it? Are you trying to touch it?
I'm trying to touch it.
Oh, Rogar, before she touches it, Rogar will just remember to say it is both of life and death.
It is.
So.
This is no life, Rogar.
I'd rather be dead.
Now, I want to make sure, Zoom. Are you absolutely sure you want to touch this moat?
I am not, but I am going to do it anyway. I'm still have that gold on me.
You watch as you open the container, the kind of like jar-like container that you have contained this moat in. You open it up, and it is glowing, but it's much more dim than it was before. You are going to touch it. You kind of put your finger in. You put your finger towards it. As you touch it, Zoom.
God.
You're going to take 6 points of necrotic damage.
Fuck it.
Oh, no. As Zoom, not only does it damage you, but you lose the finger you poke it with. It's gone. It melts away.
It's a bad day.
And I'm gonna say it stops at the knuckle. It stops eating into your hand.
What hand?
It's I don't know which hand. Whichever hand it is.
Jacket hand.
It's gone. It's gone. It's the left pointer. Zune is like
left pointer. Oh, can't play the instrument anymore.
Like, oh shit! Playing my instrument might be difficult now, as my hands are what I make my living with.
Is the moat gone? Is the moat gone now?
It is not gone. It is not gone.
Rogar takes it, pulls it away.
Like 3 fingers, you'll be fine, Zune.
Okay, your Rogar recourse it. Zune's like in shock.
Oh, just very fucking angry and sad.
just like,
You said 6 points of necrotic.
6 points of necrotic damage, and you are missing a finger.
Forget that.
That's fucked up, dude.
I asked for it. I literally
asked you if you really wanted to touch it.
Are they gonna put your face in it?
I'm gonna touch the butt.
I told you that it had dimmed significantly. That is a hint.
Okay.
Of what it is doing. When you first had it, it was very bright and vibrant. And it may have been capable of performing some life regenerating capabilities, but it looks like, similar to radiation, the material, as it deteriorates and breaks down, becomes much more hazardous than it once was. And it may be no longer a mote of life, and now it is a mote of death and decay.
Conflicted feelings. Part of me wants to just go home. Another part doesn't want them to see me like this.
You should jump into the pool.
That's
Fuck
it.
There is a pool.
Right, there
is a pool of ultimate destruction right there, Zune. It's right there.
End it all right now.
Mito.
So what are we doing now? Zune's over there having crisis of great sorts. Velree's just like, that's fucked up. You know.
It's like, should we console him? No, he needs to be alone.
That's fucked up.
Rogar is going to talk to Velree and Trist and Moog. I assume Zune is.
You left one out.
Zune's over there just
Zune,
like, no.
Yeah, just
no.
in shock, you know.
Yes.
Perhaps there was something on the platform up there. I know it would be hard to get up there. But perhaps, Velree, you can papoose one Tristan and
I could do that, no problem. No problem.
Walk the ceiling and then drop down.
Oh yeah, I could easily
let him
do that.
Investigate.
No problem.
Of course.
Marry me.
Just jumps in her arms.
So, I mean, is this what's happening right now? You don't want to look at the other items.
Oh yeah, let's look at the items first.
Okay.
And then go up there.
Okay. So as far as the other items that you've collected, let me pull up my stuff.
Zune cries uncontrollably in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Zune
That's
cries
bad.
in the background.
Okay. So what you find as you kind of now you have the equivalent of you have the two maps that Velree had already covered that depicted images of a snowscape that you determined to possibly be the frigid wastes, and a sprawling desert that you think is the Whispering Dunes. Similar pieces of continent connected to Drillora, the current continent that you're on. Rogar being more familiar with the frigid wastes than anyone else here. Regardless, though, you do have now in your possession, you have two of these metallic, they look like the equivalent of tomes, Trist. They're strange looking, bizarre, one might say. One of them has an intricate locking system on it. It looks like it is magical in some way, but the lock itself appears to be semi-organic. Not too dissimilar to parts of the ship that you've seen. The other one appears to be it looks from the top just like a book, a tome, with instead of it being made from leather or paper of some kind, it appears to be made out of metal. Do you try to flip through that one?
Yeah.
Okay. You grab a hold of it and you open it. As you open it, Trist, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. 14.
I forgot. I need everyone to give me wisdom saving throws because you're all probably within 20 feet.
Yes. You will all perish.
Is it a disadvantage saving throw?
Yes, you have a disadvantage.
So I got a 16.
This is a extremely important one for Moog.
Oh no.
The two dumbest characters in the party were most
should have threw him in the water.
What do you need?
A wisdom saving throw.
Oh, wisdom save. Save.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not going to be good for me unless I go. Wow! Just a 20.
Moog passes.
That's unusual.
Thank God.
Remarkably wise, all of a sudden.
Passes this one. Anybody who failed, which is only going to be Zune. No, wait. Yeah, you had disadvantage. Zune and Trist both fail. Well, Zune, did you roll a 20?
That was my.
I'm looking at the medicine. My bad. Zune, you passed. With a 16 passes. So Trist fails with a 14. Oh, I didn't roll for Velree. What's her saves? There it is. Velree fails. Does she have any luck left?
She burned through it, I think.
It shows 1. I'll click it. Why not? We'll give her a reroll. That is a 17, which passes. So the only person who failed is Trist. Everyone else passes. If you failed, you're going to take 20 points of necrotic damage. If you pass, you only take 10.
Ah,
Does this reduce anyone to 0 hit points? No?
not me.
10? Okay.
Yeah. Velree's also going to take 10 points.
Save takes 10.
If you save, you only take 10.
That puts me at 6.
Thank God, Mo. As this wave explodes outwards of the book that was trapped, you feel an aspect of death embedded into its pages, and should you have died, hit 0, you would have been dead.
Oh shit! You save mode.
Oh, book.
You're like, oh shit! As you kind of, you're kind of like shocked for the first time in a long time. Usually not as careful as one might be, especially with a creature so paranoid as Morculus. As you look at the writing, Trist, it is gibberish. You have no idea what the hell it says.
I thought he could comprehend languages on.
That would have died down because it only lasts an hour. Didn't you? Okay. Wasn't it before the short rest?
It was because right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You would still have it on. Okay. So
it was before combat started.
Yeah, so it would still be up for an hour. It's an hour. Now, was it before the Morculus fight, or was it after the Morculus fight?
I think it was before.
I thought it was after. I thought Zoo recast it after.
Oh, I don't know.
The fight, because
he did. He cast it afterwards, so you could read the runes on the cylinder. So it's still up because it's good for an hour. Okay, so it's still up. So you look at it, Trist, and you see fragments of language that don't make any sense. You're smart enough to realize that this book is encoded. You can give me a intelligence check to see if you can, at a quick glance, make out some details, but it is going to take time to read. A 25.
That's a natural 20.
Natural 20.
That natty 20.
With a natural 20, Trist's mind, it's like a beautiful mind.
Oh,
he's like focuses in. He focuses in on the pattern. He starts picking out pieces in the way that this beholder-like creature never would have expected a mortal to be capable of. As Trist just begins to unravel the tome, Trist, you realize quickly that this is not just a tome. This is some kind of the equivalent of a ledger for the Death Tyrant. And not only does it detail some of the experiments that he has been performing, but it also has some strange writings. There are, as you begin to flip through, harnessing your innate ability, it's going to take time to flip all the way through it. But from a brief glance, Trist, you kind of making out certain passages, especially towards the end. There are vague references to an entity known as the Kian Gate, and possible implications of a budding alliance with the Crawling Chaos or Dark One, should he succeed in creating a vessel capable of breaching the Far. I'll let that sink in.
Yeah.
What was the name of the crawling? What?
The Crawling Chaos or the Dark One.
That's great.
Be in the gate before.
And you would know the Kian Gate because it is an entity that you have come into contact with before. An entity that you may or may not, every time you pass through time, may have his eyes upon you. It was one of his many names.
Couldn't have anything to do with the Gatebreakers in Yorla, but no.
Yes, Yog-Sothoth is his true name, and you know it.
Yeah.
There's mentions of something else, some other kind of dark alliance. So you know that Morculus was up to something, and he was using experiments to try to rebuild. And you do find out that the vessel, and it is a vessel that you're on, was once capable of passing into the planes. It in fact may itself be from the Far, though long incapable of going back, as it was split in twain. The other half lost somewhere. This half trying to be repurposed and rebuilt utilizing the pool of life and death. Morculus was up to some mad science to make ends meet for some unknown reason. Some of his gibberings are both fanatical and paranoid as you're reading. Some of his footnotes and things. There's mentions of enemies everywhere. There's mentions of his old masters. And that's all he refers to them as. And they were once the possessors of this ship. And he, in fact, was a prisoner in one of the tubes that you have found, who escaped once it was sundered and was able to, through the anarchy and the lack of leadership, able to bring it to heel as best he could in his own strange, twisted, alien way.
Anything in there about regenerating body parts and getting rid of boils?
There is mention of the motes because of the use of. Let me pull this part up because this actually is interesting. There are mentions of harnessing the motes to transcend space and time, as his former captors were capable of, through the use of eldritch blood and psionic energy infused. And you come to realize that the tubes that are full of what he has referred to as eldritch blood, that he has psionically altered in some way. So that may or may not be the things that attacked you and inflicted you with the death-like symptoms.
Well,
You said they may not be.
May or may not.
They
May or may
not be. Oh,
Can't
that's.
answer that for you, Zune. You make your own assessment.
I make great assessments.
You do, especially right now at
Great
disadvantage.
judgment. That is my track record. Guys, do you think this is a good spot to take a nap? Because I'm not feeling very good right now.
I don't want to take one up here next to this milk of death.
I mean,
There is a second tome, Trist.
Oh.
You have two. That was just one. That was the one that was not locked. This other one appears to have some kind of locking mechanism upon it.
Oh, yeah.
I can take care of that lock after a nap.
Can you, Zoom?
We will find out. My hand will probably explode off, and I'll just add more people.
Do you want to investigate it at all, Trist?
I'll investigate it
Give me an investigation check.
just in case it has a trap.
We're gonna try to help him, you know.
Oh shit! I don't need help, bro. Natural 20.
and
man.
that's another-
Oh, shit. 2 nat 20.
Two nat 20s back to back. What is going to happen soon? I don't know, but it's probably not good. However, Trist, natural 20 on your investigation check. As you're looking at it, a similar moment passes. None of you, there's like inspiration in Trist's veins as he once again focuses in on the locking mechanism and realizes it makes a sort of strange, bizarre pattern. Perhaps it's the use of the tongues that he has. He's able to make out the details of a few manipulated tendrils that look like they slot in. And this would be an alien concept to most of you. The DC is a 25. As Trist is able to take the tendrils and he begins to move them in strange ways, all of you looking on, probably fascinated. Besides Velree, she's probably like, I don't know, picking up pieces of Zamru and chewing on it or something. But Trist, as you place it in, the lock begins to, there's a strange noise and the lock slithers into the binding away and the tome is open. As it opens, you discover it is not a tome at all.
Oh.
Instead, you see a flash of light briefly, and it begins to kind of like stutter, and something begins to form in the open book. And it looks like flickering pulses of light. Some of them strange colors, others not so much. And they're just kind of floating in space. And Trist, while you are not a man of the stars, you recognize certain constellations. This is a map, a star map. And there are points of interest that are glowing as if this has been manipulated. And you can read right now, Trist, the language that has been inscribed into some of these. And it says, Kadath.
That's it.
That's it. You have a star map to far-flung Kadath.
I don't know what Kadath is.
No, you have no idea what Kadath is. You do know that Zamru was looking for this. This in particular is what she was looking for.
Close it back up.
Close it up. Spirited away.
Yeah.
Is there another regular map too?
There is not, actually.
Okay. So there's only 2 maps that showed like
There are only 2 maps.
points on them.
Mhm.
Okay.
If I said there were 3, I misspoke. There was only 2.
Yeah, we still need to find the seed.
You would realize from your reading, natural 20, the actual, what you need are samples of the creatures that you destroyed.
Oh, shit. Are there any samples left?
There are creatures, their body, like what the blood, some of it's coagulated and clumped. That might work.
Dump my moat out.
You're gonna dump the moat out?
I mean, like,
Where do you
No.
dump it, Zune?
not in the pool of shit.
Well, where do you dump it then, Zune?
Zamaru.
Dump it onto Zamru? You walk over to her, you're like, you bitch. You pour it out. You pour the moat out. It falls.
It's like an Uno reverse card.
It's blinking. It falls onto her, and rapidly her flesh begins to wither and decay until there's nothing left. There's just a black, inky smudge on the ground where she once was.
This would be very useful to have a lot of these for the amount of bodies we need to hide. But I'm not going to communicate that out loud. I'm just thinking that.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to use my little container and scoop up some of that blood Trist has communicated. That's what we should be doing.
The
Scoop up that
heavily poxed and very unsteady hand of Zune reaches down and begins to scoop up some of the coagulated fluid into it, utilizing one of your musical implements to kind of scoop it in. And you have retrieved a sample of the Red Death, a pure seed of the Crimson Root.
Just in case. So we don't have a good track record. If anything.
What?
Or
As much as I don't want to rest here, it might be a good idea because those gardeners are still going to be outside.
hopefully they're scared of him, so hopefully they won't. Well, we do have 2 dead guards sitting in the hallway that I could have used that mode for, but I did not. So, didn't think that through. It's great.
So, are you guys attempting to rest here?
Hide somewhere. Is there? Can we get up to? No, we can't get up to the dais.
Why don't you guys give me a perception test? I'll let all of you make one.
Thank you.
We're gonna have Velree make one. Velree has a pretty good perception, surprisingly.
And
Not that great.
12. I have a 12.
Sorry, 12. Would have been good. Mo, did you make a perception test?
I will happily make you a perception.
Yes.
It's not gonna be great unless the dice love me. Oh,
20. Moog actually.
20.
Moog
He's
is
paying
the
attention for once, which is
second
weird.
highest. Trist gets the highest with the 21. Moog right behind him with the 20. That was, so 20 was the DC to find a small, and I mean small, bead of light on the farthest wall where the strange machinery attaches to the wall itself. that kind of conical flows outwards. Trist, you would know from your ridiculous reading of that journal that this was the engine battery. This is where the ship was moved in some form or fashion. And it has been long dormant for a very long time. And what you are seeing is a bead of light, or perhaps over the centuries, and it has been centuries that this ship has been stranded here in the material, something has fallen away, and there may be an exit from the seedbed not far from where you currently are.
Well, we might not have to rest here.
Moog sees it as well, because the DC was a 20.
We might better go out that little hole.
I'm following Trist's recommendation.
We're all traveling that direction.
Do we not want to investigate the top, or do we just leave?
I have no way of getting up there. I mean, Velree can get up there. That wasn't the plan to have Velree carry Trist up there.
Do you want to take the time to do so? I will say the equivalent of like 30, 40, 45 minutes have passed from all of this investigating.
I'm not getting any fresh Edgar. It's just me.
Seems like good.
Very well.
Do it, but I just mean make it quick, please.
We'll go.
We'll go, I guess.
All right, you guys begin to scale, and you do have to climb the engine battery. It's like a weird shape. It's not square or flat anyway. It just comes at weird angles. Alien architecture. Trist, you do see forms of writing on it in several different places that you would know to be some kind of psionic anchor. Just from what you've gleaned from Morculus's tomes, you're actually learning quite a bit about cyclical creatures, because Morculus was doing extensive studies into creatures and what he could do to them and what he could make them into. And you're actually learning quite a bit about strange and bizarre things that may or may not affect your sanity later on.
Oh.
But for now, you're gleaming that these are some kind of psionic anchors, some kind of boosters. Whoever used to fly the ship was capable of great feats of the mind. But as you begin to climb, you get towards a dense section of the root systems, and the bead of light is coming from behind them. There's just a single little, like, quarter-size hole. And if one of you were to kind of gleam through, you would see that there is a cluster of roots beyond, but then there is light. Dim light, but light nonetheless.
I think I have my daily use of etherealness back, so let's see if I can do that without fucking that up with my missing finger. Okay, go to go.
Zune plays a little ditty and slips into the ethereal realm.
God, it still works.
And you're kind of looking around. It's strangely cold, but you don't feel it really. Think of this like kind of like the Bilbo's when he puts the One Ring on. That's the kind of like realm you're in right now. You see the aspects of the roots in front of you, but they seem transparent. And you wheel yourself forward, and you easily pass through them as if they did not exist.
Are there any buttons, controls, or anything I can see as I'm going through?
As you continue to go forward, you do not see anything of the such. Within moments, you are outside of the seedbed, completely outside. As you look around, you see in the near distance, you see strange shapes, circular shapes. And as they're kind of moving around, they look bizarre and more alien than you remember. And you probably are like, those must be the gardeners tending to their corpse flowers. Several of them kind of working. And in the ethereal, you can see that there are, there's kind of like a shimmering light around the edge of almost like a dome shape around the vessel that you just came out of. as if it is generating some kind of force field that is keeping out the mist that you see collecting on the outside of the dome that you would not be able to see with the naked eye.
And this is on the other side of the gardeners, like out. The reason we could still use it.
Yes.
Well, I don't see anything that would help them get out of here, right?
No, you do not.
Then I am going to go back in, and we're just going to burn that because I am not staying out here with all that.
Soon passes back in and then reappears within a few moments.
So I'm just going to chill with you guys for a bit.
And reveals to you that there appears to just be roots keeping you from outside.
And lots of gardeners outside.
How are you guys getting through?
I think we should take it before we go outside.
I would suggest that before we venture up there.
What are you trying to do?
Take a long rest.
In
Definitely.
Morculus's chamber?
I mean, outside is more.
Let's call it.
I'm just asking.
Secured chamber.
I'm just asking what you guys are going to do. I just want to
Call it
ask.
Morculus.
Well, at least we'll start off with a
secured
short
chamber.
rest. If it leads into a long rest, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
So we're starting off with a short rest.
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
it.
But we're trying to take a long rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why don't we get first watch going? Are you guys camping up here next to the possible exit?
Probably a good
Yeah.
idea.
Okay. First watch, Moog. Anybody else?
Velree, since she only needs 4 hours.
Velree. No, Velree
But
needs.
we
Velree
do
needs
good
8.
first watch together. Me and Velree, we do good first watch
Yeah.
together.
Velree does need 8, but so do you. So it doesn't matter.
Oh, she was she's not enough.
She's not.
Oh, she was, but
She was.
Yeah.
She's not.
That
anymore.
racial feature does not carry over.
Yeah, it does not. That's one of the only things that doesn't carry over.
It's fucking
So why don't you go ahead and give me a perception test? Use
damn fears are weird, man. Damn weirds, am I right? In that perception.
Velree got a 24.
Because she's paying attention.
My God.
Ouch. Well, good. Let's do a combined average.
No, Mo got an 8. Velree got a 24 though. Do you want to combine the average and bring it down?
No.
Okay.
I'll let Velree-
I'll do that
I'll
for
let
you if you
Velree
really
be
want
smart.
to. Mo, you're just kind of like you're focused in on, and
Still
you can't
recovering
help.
from having been a damn zombie.
Yes, you are. You're just kind of like, my
I'm
God.
not horrified by the black bile that spewed out of me.
Yes, yes, indeed. And just coming to grips with everything that's happened.
Yeah.
Your party has told you that you were turned into a statue,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
a satyr version of Trist.
But
off
I
of
mean,
you.
ridiculously handsome.
I mean, there's just so many things that have happened, so many strange reveals.
Yeah.
Tristan Varel, as you glance over him, he's kind of like slowly nodding, and he's in kind of like a trance-like state. Now, do you lay all the way on the ground, Trist, or are you kind of like Zen?
Yeah,
You know,
we zen out.
Zen. So he's like, Indian style, legs crossed. He's zenning out. But you kind of look over towards Trist, and you see that he is he's kind of swaying strangely, more so than he ever has before.
Yeah.
As if perhaps there might be something a little off with him.
Uh-oh.
Who knows what?
They already knew that.
But you're distracted, Mo.
I am.
Velree is not. Velree
Why
has
is
got a
that?
taste of blood recently, and she is thirsty. Beyond thirsty. It's so much so that Velree is hearing the blood pumping in all of your veins. And she is trying to resist the urge to rip into each and every one of you, as she has drank from something she probably should not have and is not feeling well. However, she is on a heightened state of watch due to her uncomfortable nature. And as she's looking out, she hears nothing of note. And your watch ends relatively uneasily, Moog. As you kind of look over, you're like, ugh, I think it's over. And Velree's just looking at you, at the throbbing vein in your neck, with her head tilted sideways a little bit.
Whoa, I got a little barnacle there.
Yeah, got something, you like peel it off. It starts to bleed a little bit. And she like,
Oh, no.
and then she kind of moseys away from you and just lays down, unblinking, staring towards the rest of you. As it is the second watch. Whoever wants to take the second watch.
Just take it as you know, we do the hello Dave, hello George handoff. Keep down, Velree.
And first watch was 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
The equivalent of, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're the spellcasters for good.
Zune,
Fuck.
you get no benefits from a long rest.
No.
None.
Yeah, not even healing.
You don't get
Spells?
healing. You don't get spells come back. None of your exhaustion goes away, Zune. As you are racked with ache and pain, and you do not feel good at all.
This is going to be a problem.
That was super rude.
I'm sorry. I didn't make. I may or may not have made the rules on this, but I didn't fail the check so badly.
Rules.
Seeing that happen, I'm gonna pull out my Hearthstone again. And try to see if that does anything.
Okay.
I know it's a little smaller than it was before.
It is. All right. So you're trying to cure Zune.
Yes.
Same thing.
All right.
Okay.
How am I going to roll for this? This is going to have to be a roll. Give me a spellcasting ability check. The DC is high.
Nice.
The DC's high.
So just
An intelligence check for you.
Can I give him a bardic inspo? I think I have one left.
Do you have one left?
Let me check. Let me confirm. Let me look. Yes, I have one left.
Zune gives you his last spark of inspiration.
I don't need it. It's a natural 20.
Natural
Thank
20.
This.
Somehow, some way, Trist,
Man of medicine as well.
You pull out the Hearthstone that you retrieved from a dead what was she?
Hag.
A night hag is what she was. A dead night hag. One of the members of a coven that may or may not be a part of the Mar that may or may not come after you one day. However, in this moment, Trist, you dig deep and you're seeing that maybe I could use this. Maybe I could use this somehow. You bring it over towards Zune, and utilizing some of your newfound knowledge, there will be a price to pay, Trist.
Can I help him pay it?
No, he will have to pay the price.
Oh God.
Trist, roll me a d4.
Three.
Trist, you lose 3 points of sanity. However, through your newfound knowledge, you have gained the ability that when in possession of something that can be harnessed for greater healing capabilities, perhaps even reversing of conditions, you may do so at the cost of a d4 sanity.
All right.
Worth it.
As Trist utilizes the item, and as he begins to cast a ritual that he has basically just come up with on the spot, he kind of places you in the center zone, and there are strange symbols drawn around you. Everyone else is asleep. It's just the two of you. And he begins to intone in strange languages, possibly even alien to Trist. He just knows them from his reading. And as he belts forth, there is what can only be described as an inky blackness that comes from Trist's back. It emerges from outside of it, and you see a gaping rift in space-time as a creature with many eyes and tendrils and mouths is watching the two of you. Trist his eyes begin to roll in the back of his head, and Zunia just looking on horrified, like, as suddenly, Zune, you begin to feel strangely. You begin to shift, almost like somebody turning on and off a light. Your body begins to shift back and forth. And for a moment you can't see, and then you can. It is bizarre and like something out of a horror movie. And by the time Trist is done with his spell, the Heartstone is reduced to nothing. However, there is a burning, almost like coal. For just a moment, you see small galaxy in Trist's right eye that winks out as he finishes the spell, and you are cured of the Crimson Rot. As if time has reversed.
No boils, no nothing.
No, nothing. You are
Don't
back
miss
to
me.
normal. You have all of your spell slots. You have been completely restored. All of your hit points, everything.
Finger?
Your finger is back.
Oh my god!
Gaze into eternity.
Holy
Exactly.
cow! I'm Chris. He doesn't
Everything-
seem like a hug guy, but I don't give a shit at this point.
Everything's back. You're just
No
like.
questions
I think it's fair that you probably take 3 points of sanity loss as well soon. I'm just gonna throw it out there because you witnessed the Eldritch Abomination come to be.
This is fine. You know what? I mean,
It's
like, how friendships
fine.
are made. We go crazy together.
You're like, racked a little bit by what happened.
So,
I'm not
hugging-
sure, Trist, you probably realize that you've tapped into a power beyond reality,
Yes.
and anything less than a natural 20 would have been disastrous.
Oh, shit.
I'm not. The DC was 25. You hit it. Now you did have inspiration, so there was a chance, but you nailed it. No problem. No problem. No problem.
in both levels of exhaustion, just like fully back.
You are back to the healthiest you've ever been, Zune. You
Oh
feel
my God.
you feel slightly slightly younger. As a matter of fact, Zune does appear to be younger.
Oh my god! Oh my
Yes.
god! God,
Mhm.
Trent.
It's got a
Need a
very
bit of spot,
Peter
Tris.
Parker, Spider-Man 3, emo Parker vibe. to it.
This is my new.
She's like,
Stop
check out my
all
pinky.
It's
Trist
back.
is
It's all back. Trist looks taxed.
Was that the
Mhm.
pinky with the coke nail on it though? Was that your?
No.
Was that your?
I believe it was the index finger that he used. I'm going to say, for thematic purposes, neither of you take a perception check because this will take your watch.
That is true.
I think we're doing another weird shit that.
Yeah,
we're just,
you guys are not paying attention. You guys are working on this. Trist he's been inspired. I don't know. You don't know what it is about this room. You might be a little worried because Trist has been able to do things that he has never been able to before in a rapid succession. Might be concerning, maybe not. Maybe he's fine. There's nothing
Probably
wrong here. He only
No, I mean,
ripped a
it
hole
helped
in
me, so-
space-time and reversed everything on you. It's
I
okay.
do this all the time by myself.
It's what he does.
put Moog in another dimension. I mean, whatever. It happens. These
Mhm.
things happen. It's totally fine, and his secret is safe with me.
Zune, I just want you to know you've stepped into the inner circle of my friendship.
The inner circle.
You are now in the inner sanctum of Tristan
Yeah.
Burrell's
Yeah,
friendship.
Tristan, you've stepped into my inner circle as well, and I'm gonna make sure that you don't regret this.
Yes, if we ever make it back to Silver Dorat, you can repay me. And parties. drugs and loose women.
Ortiz.
Drugs and loose women. Got it. With that, you guys do finish.
Velree in her sleep crushes the vine.
Yeah, she's over there. Her eyes are open, but she is sleeping. Just kind of like.
We just become
Let's go make bunk beds. It's gonna be great, guys. So you guys do finish a long rest. You get your stuff back. Moog, you recover 1 point of exhaustion.
I really do appreciate that. Why couldn't I go on a sweet date with Trist?
Too bad Trist didn't do the same for you.
It is unfortunate that I totally forgot about it being in my inventory.
All I ever get from Trist is shade and future deaths
So
and some satyr action.
at the end of the long rest,
True.
have you guys decided on a plan to make it through the vines and the roots?
Since I've had a long rest, my plan for the vines and roots is indomitable.
Stop them.
Are you gonna chop him?
I could chop them. I've got my toothpick.
Velree brings out her new silver greatsword.
A little dream blade action.
I want to
Dragon
test
machete?
this.
Yeah.
You guys, between the three of you, I'm assuming Zune and Trist aren't doing anything. Speaking of which, all of you, when you wake up, Zune is cured. I don't know how shocking this might be. Zune is not only cured, Zune has his finger back, and he looks younger, which is saying something. It's saying something for an elf, because elves age at such a and he's a full elf.
Yeah.
They age at such a slow rate. For you to visibly see that he's gotten younger, that means like a century has been taking off of him.
Yeah.
How old was Zune? He's like
Zune,
a
you look
teenager
100
now.
years younger, Zune.
Zune has
He was truly
Zune has all of the experience, knowledge that he had, just in a younger body.
Yes, it's like back
How
in
old was
puberty.
it initially? How old was it?
Like young-ish, not like a kid, but like
An adult would be like a younger adult would be like in Drow society. Shit.
they don't live very long. So
125 is probably.
I mean, yeah, you're looking at
125 is like your late 20, early 20s.
you're looking at well over your hundreds, and you're probably closer to 200 just because of the extra schooling you probably went through.
But it's about
Now you're somewhere around 100, which is would be like a teenager. You have a teenager
like reverse
body.
dog.
but through puberty again.
Oh no, hey, well, like an 18-year-old. You know, you're good.
But
You're
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Cracks
It's like
every now and
reverse
then.
dog years. You know? Yeah. Every elf year is like 50 human years. No,
Yeah,
reverse that.
it's ridiculous.
Go
So
back into the choir.
You look amazing, Zune. You look absolutely
radiant,
amazing.
one might say.
Thank
feels-
you.
You were truly hideous. It was.
Oh, you're absolutely unbelievable.
I was not
You really got
aware.
by on your good songs.
I thought that it might be used to our advantage in combat.
Oh God!
Show you off.
Show you
That'd
off.
be,
Stand
I
there.
love that.
Medusa.
Throw that
Show-
damn Rogar.
Just-
You just call back. Bring forth the leper. Bring it forth.
Rogar, you have a way.
That's back, you limps.
I was looking forward to you guys trying to figure out how you were going to like heal Zune. Like it was going to be health potions, and it was going to be bad.
Really trash.
was
It's going to
thinking-
be really bad.
I was
I was
prepared.
thinking we were gonna have to go to the druid lady and
Yep.
be
I
like,
was just
"Oh,
thinking,
save
how
her."
am I going to get there half dead without any spells? This is going to be bad.
I mean, it's cool how we leveled up and everything, though.
You have not leveled up. However, you do escape the seed bed.
With what we need, I hope.
As you escape, you do see a similar scene to what I described to Zune. Now, the light is not bright; it is dim light out here, which is more than what you got other places. There's an unnatural lighting about this area, possibly due to some of the cyclical runes, runecraft, and other magical devices that are being used to do whatever they are. Stuff beyond mortal understanding. However, you do still see patrols of gardeners tending to their flowers. Are you guys going to like move in on one, or are you guys going to try to sneak by? What's the plan?
I hate
There's a-
sneaking by, but
Do the flowers? Does anything look like it's receded in any way?
So out here, the only it's hard.
I mean,
to
we're
tell.
not gonna see it.
It's hard
Okay.
to tell. You do not know how far-reaching your actions may be,
Mhm.
if they even are. You're not sure.
Yeah.
sneaking by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is what I tell.
I don't
Go
want
ahead
to. But
and give me stealth rolls.
Oh
God.
Let me make one for Velree. She does get advantage. Even at advantage, Velree gets a 13.
Oh God.
Gotta love it. Trist,
Down to
you
half interest.
gonna keep that 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Moog, have you made a stealth check yet?
Stealth checks are my favorite, but I have a level of exhaustion, but that doesn't matter. Okay.
You still have 1, so it is a disadvantage.
Is it a disadvantage? Okay, that is one of the
Yeah.
things.
Checks are still at disadvantage.
Check, Mike, check.
Even at disadvantage, 17.
Not
Not
bad.
bad for Moog.
Especially with barnacle feet.
The only one who really shit the bed was Trist. He went full,
I'm not the stealth guy.
he's not the stealth guy. He went Amber Heard all the way. He shit that bed.
Oh.
And I'm sorry.
What if she watches this?
I know. It would be great.
Please.
Oh, unsubscribe.
So as you guys are moving, Rogar got a 19, which is really good for Rogar. You guys are moving forward, and let me roll for them. You do witness is you actually come across a collection of 2 gardeners and several corpse flowers that you have to maneuver around due to the topography of the nearby area. You're going to have to get relatively within spitting distance of them. There's no way around it. As you begin to move forward, they're talking to each other in their strange language that none of you understand right now because Trist does not have tongues. So you guys are moving forward. Zune, the diadem you're wearing is the stone in the center is actually glowing red with kind of like eldritch kind of like runecraft along it. And as you kind of look ahead, you see Tristan Varel slightly just a step ahead of you, Zune. You're admiring him. You're like, my God, look at this man. Look what he's done to me. It's been so great. He's such a man. And as you're watching him, you watch as he's stepping and he goes, oh my, and he just eats shit in front of everybody. He slips, he goes, oh, and then he goes face first into the roots, just oh, and as he does, Rogar, you look over.
Last time too.
You look over, and 2 of the creatures, as they're speaking, and they kind of turn in that direction. And Rogar, you grab a hold of Trist, pull him on the other side of the kind of like roots you guys were standing on. And you grab him, you hold him. The rest of you begin to kind of sink low. Velree not so quick as the rest. She's up for just a half a sec longer than the rest of you. But then she also begins to sink down. And you see her getting ready to like work herself up if she needs to. And the moment passes, and then you hear more talking. And then there's nothing. There's quiet. What are you guys going to do?
Oh, can I do that quietly? Let me see if I can do it quietly real quickly. If I can pull it up. Let's see. So with this helm of telepathy...
Hold on. We got to talk about equipment stops. You cannot wear both the helm and the circlet of blasting. You're equipping 2 helmets, basically. It's not happening. Okay.
Have you ever worn 2 hats?
We are not.
Okay.
We're not doing it. It's not happening. And I want to also.
Put 2 hats on right now.
I want to also remind you, the helm of telepathy looks like Cerebro from X-Men. It comes out.
Okay, maybe that
Put it on the tiny hat first.
It's fair. That's fair. I don't get to load up like. Yeah.
I'm telling Zune that they can't wear more than 1 hat.
I'm just letting you know you will have to choose. You cannot wear both.
Crap.
It does look like Cerebro. It would be hilarious if you decided to just walk around wearing that from here on. It would make some interesting conversation.
But I can't see them right now, right? Because we're heading back there. I have to be able to use my spell detect thoughts. I'm gonna kind of look to Rogar for a cue, like, you want me to try, like, it's kind of.
Yeah, I guess it is. It's a Zuna and I rode the highest. So I guess one of us would probably take a look and
Yeah.
see, I guess, what's happening over there.
Are they coming our way? Are they doing anything?
Soon Rogar, you both begin to
What?
peek over the top, and you see that the gardeners have turned their backs to the party, and they're currently both tending their corpse flowers.
That's great.
How many corpse fires to get around? You know,
There's 3.
3 corpse fires. That's a lot, guys.
Let's run. Run.
Yeah, we'll try to sneak past.
Okay. You guys begin to sneak once again. You begin to quietly. This time, Trist, watches his footing a little better this time. He kind of sits up.
Zoom would still hit that. So we're just.
And you guys begin to move forward. As you begin to move forward, as you begin to leave the area, Trist, your passive perception is very high. You see one of the flowers begins to fully bloom. You've never seen this before. And as it does, a mote of white light kind of like floats out of the top of it as the petals begin to wilt and wither away. And there is a mote of life and death hovering nearby. One of the gardeners just kind of looks at it. His one eye kind of goes wide and begins jabbering to the other one. Are you guys still moving away?
Want me to hit you with comprehend languages?
I want to watch what happens.
You gonna watch?
I'm a man. I want to know what happens.
Trist is like,
Investigative nature.
he begins to stroke his chin and look back. What are the rest of you doing?
There it is. Oh, let's see. Oh shit, I may have been using comprehend languages incorrectly.
Is it using it correctly?
How have you not been using it correctly?
Range area self.
Yep, you can only make yourself do it.
Right? I've been giving it to Trist. I'm
Son
so
of a
sorry.
bitch.
Don't worry about it.
Shit. Don't worry about it. It's canon.
Oh, that stuff never happened.
It is
Dude,
canon
you're still
now.
fucked up.
It's
It
canon
has
now.
to be canon. It has to be.
It has to
canon
be. I've allowed it so many times.
I'm so
Maybe
sorry.
it's because
It's fine.
maybe it's because of Zun's loot.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. We'll
It's
go
the
with that.
fancy loot. Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, if that's who we're using this, I'm going to slap.
The
Yeah.
loot that used to be used by gods. Yeah, that one. So makes sense.
Try to very quietly give Trist. Is there a way to stealthily give someone stuff as a bonus?
Give me a spellcasting ability check.
Let's see.
It's a charisma check for you.
Oh shit. Not a saving throw, just a charisma check. At least I'm no longer at disadvantage. Oh, 14.
With a 14?
And that's just straight charisma check, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You begin to kind of like whisper to Trist in his ears. He's kind of like looking back. And as he does, one of the mouths on one of the gardeners kind of like points towards you guys, and a disgusting looking barbed tongue begins to lick the air. He's continuing soon.
No.
You begin to quiet down. The creature begins to turn, looking towards the party at this point. What are you guys doing?
Oh,
We're right toward the
Okay.
right?
What do you guys?
We-
You guys are like on the precipice of leaving.
The only also other problem, just out of character for a second. If we were to dash into the forest, we don't know where we're going. It's a magical, misty forest, so
They're
I don't
coming.
know.
probably leaving though.
No.
What are we doing?
Well, I guess I want to see that moat, but I guess we'll just.
I want to see
Book
the
it.
too.
You say, "Flee!" as the creatures go
Exactly.
all their mouths begin to open up and scream in alarm. Some of the flowers begin to slowly kind of.
Rogar screams out, "We killed your master!" And then
and goblin, and they're just you don't know if they understand you or not, but you run. The party begins to run off into the forest. As you run off, after several minutes pass, you don't think you're being followed.
Rogar lights his sensor.
That is a good idea because we were about to roll something. As Rogar takes one of the remaining bundles of herbs that were given to you by the shaman Ono and lights it, and the mist begins to pull away from you. Thank God. So you have a 30-foot space to breathe in. And as you do so, you see a monkey-like creature in a tree nearby. When I say monkey-like, I mean like small, like a small monkey-like creature. And it looks bizarre. Its eyes are vacant and staring at the lot of you. And it kind of begins to scamper down the tree and move in your direction.
What is that?
Can we do like knowledge nature? Like, does it look like anything we've ever?
It doesn't look like anything you've ever seen, Zune. First off, I doubt you've ever seen a monkey. I'm just going to throw it out there. Probably not something you've seen. So,
man, it's like a goblin.
You know what? Let me have
Moog's like younger family.
Let me have Zune and Trist make Arcana checks.
That's specious.
Oh fuck!
Is that another 25?
It's a 16 plus 9.
God.
Specious.
Both of you.
I have a plus 9 in Arcana.
Killing it. Both of you somewhat recognize the creature for what it is. Partially because you both are capable of using similar spellcraft. This is a familiar.
Oh, monkey.
Wizard nearby.
As it kind of walks up, suddenly its mouth opens up and a female's voice begins to pipe through. I see you have emerged. It sounds like Shaman Ono from very far away.
Familiar.
Were you victorious?
Yes,
We
ma'am.
were.
Good. I will need to speak to Moog.
Oh no.
Privately or?
Moog, you kind of like take a step forward. It kind of looks towards you. Its mouth is just open. It's like creepy, slightly.
Very Wizard of Oz.
It looks towards you, Moog. Do you desire to be rid of your curse?
Absolutely.
Now or later, decisions will be binding and permanent.
Now.
Should you choose now, know that others will suffer.
Like us, others.
The others that I'm concerned with are likely already lost. Now I'm a hindrance to this party in my current state.
My walkers have informed me the gate is burning.
Oh. That damn buzz.
Remove this curse.
Should you
The
seek,
gate.
the gate is burning.
Burning.
Moog.
Which gate? Like the Tory gates?
I believe it.
Are you going to ask?
Some would, but
Shadowfell Gate.
Roger's like, which
do you
gate?
speak of?
The gate to Brunwood that separates the forest from the realm.
Yoga, our choices here are: I can lose this curse now, and take the chance that Brumwood falls. We have to retake it.
You would.
Oh, now, and we take the chance that Brumwood falls, and we have to retake it.
Your decision. Oh.
This is a very important decision because it will ultimately determine the fate of your family. What are you going to do?
Do it with
Town
buzz.
of Brumwood.
Yeah, you know, fuck Grandpa. I'm gonna get fixed.
All right.
Moog
All right.
chooses himself.
Selfish
Over my
mode.
grandfather.
Selfish.
Who cupped me.
Your
Yeah.
All the children
grandfather,
in Brunwood.
your grandfather,
Yeah.
your cousin,
Yeah.
your sweetheart, and all the people of Brunwood may suffer greatly from this choice that you are making.
The whole town.
I was not referring to your family, Mo.
Oh, no.
Moog would not sacrifice his entire community to save his barnacle ass.
Just Grandpa, because Grandpa sucked. We all
Just
know that.
Grandpa, but no, I'm not throwing the entire. I, as someone who has professed to want to be the Lord of Brumwood, would not throw the entire, bullwag tree under.
That's the best way to become Lord is when everyone's dead.
Exactly.
I'm the
Yeah,
Lord
but
now.
Lord of what? Lord of Ruin? No. Moog
As,
is Lord of Glory.
as Moog, you're torn, and the shaman senses your torn nature, and the monkey's head kind of tilts sideways. Choose now.
I choose to save my family and save Brumwood.
The monkey walks over to a large tree nearby and touches it. And as it does, a portal begins to open up from the center.
I'm through it.
She could have
Oh,
taken
Moog
us
steps
to the
through.
seedbed all along.
What are you doing?
First of all, Moog would like to make sure that we have all the things that we came to together, seedbed, goodness, all
You
that
have
stuff.
6 seconds to
Hopping
get through this portal.
I'm
That's why I
stepping
said we're
through.
running through.
Okay.
I'm running
Go
through.
right in.
As
Grab
it
the
begins,
Moog.
Mo's sitting there still in indecision as it begins to slowly close, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And then he's the last one to lurch through. As you do, you guys are you're immediately all blinded. As you are in sunlight, you're shit. You kind of look around. As you blink, you are within the Lost Grove. Shaman Ono stands before you. Do you have the ingredients?
Fighting right here.
You hand over the sample of the root. She uncorks it. She smells it. Yes, this is pure. Give me but a moment. She turns and hobbles back towards her house. Within a minute or two, she once again leaves. The guardians are on high alert. The wood-like guardians that had attacked you at one point, as well as the large fire elemental has also been summoned at this point. And Shaman Ono brings back a something. She reaches out and hands it to you, Moog. She says, "It was only enough to make one. Choose wisely." And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode of Emberfell Whispers of the Stars. All right.
It's poorly.
Clutchy.
All right, then.
Good stuff.
It was Buzz, wasn't it? Or Biz?
You have no idea what's happening in Brunwood. You're going to have to find out.
Oh, I know what's happening. She turned on us.
She did.
We'll see what's happened in Brunwood.
Anyway, I'm
until
saving
then,
my girlfriend. I've only
lots
got
of
one
speculation
cure,
here.
I'm
I
saving
loved that, Dan was about to say fuck everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved it. I was like, we're going through with this. I didn't expect it, but you know what? I was down. I was down for it. But we'll deal with that later then.
I was kind of thinking interest, Alan's line of like, it's easier to take over a pile of cinders.
Yeah, it would be easy to be the king of dirt. There's
Yeah.
a certain song about this. In
Yeah,
fact,
You can always get more people to move.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you get some people to come in. It's fine. You get some people to move in. It's gonna be great. You build it back in no time. Exactly. Let's do favorite moments of the night. Let's start with Zune. Favorite moments of the night, Sue.
I think just how fucking tragic it was for a bit. Just because I was like, oh god, well, I can work with this. I can work with whales. I can work with a finger as someone who uses them to play instruments. I can work with this. And then I just woke up and didn't have any fucking shit.
Nothing's back.
Okay, well, this is the end. I need to just throw myself in that pool, and I really needed the assist.
What I'll say to all of y'all, about that right now, especially is that is what life is like going to bed, sleeping, and waking up with none of your spells renewed is having 2 children. So you guys just go ahead.
Accurate.
Take myself out, but no, I really appreciated the assist from Trist, and Zune is probably going to be like pro team Trist for probably the rest of the campaign until he dies.
Killed it. I mean, crushed it. I was not expecting as many. The man never rolls natural 20s. In the past 3 sessions,
Rolled 3 in a row.
he's been rolling hot. He rolled 3 20s in a row this session. I don't know what's going on. He rolls so many ones. I guess it's finally beginning to balance. It's fine. The balance has begun to shift. And Trist is hot, baby. He's hot.
I was thinking I was gonna like end up like just like mutilated, but relatively cured. And I was like, no, you freaking de-aged me. You freaking like threw me into God. What is that?
It would have been such a good story. The Zune, the attractive drow becomes this horrid monster.
This horrid leper monster.
I want to hear a song. I was like,
get away from me.
Like reverse Dorian Gray.
I used to be a great musician.
Exactly.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Yeah.
I'm a voice actor now. Don't ask.
That's great. That's great.
They used to say the face to radio.
Oh God.
The radio.
How about yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. How about Moog? Favorite moments of the night from Moog?
A 750 batting average from Velree on critical hits in that one round was damned impressive. Yeah. Kudos to an unnamed game master for allowing for some flavorful play as said character jumped from one pile of wreckage to the next, eliminating both of them in what I can only picture in my mind as very many like animated fast lines in a Naruto run.
It was impressive.
With paws out, right? Almost giving Velree the effect of a 10-foot reach.
Oh God, there it goes. You had to ruin it. All right. How about Trist? Your favorite moments of the night, Trist?
The star map is fun. That's cool. Can't wait for that. Also, the off chance I just happen to scour through my inventory and just happen to see the Hearthstone still there.
I know.
And tapping into dark Eldritch magic.
It happened.
Bring Zune back to glory.
Bring him back, and it was impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
I sacrificed a little of myself. Did it for the people.
So what if he can't get that sanity back because it's going to be a permanent loss? He's fine, guys. Whoa! He is fine.
Permanent sanity loss.
And it went from a 16 to a 13.
He's still good. He's good to go, guys. He's got a 13. He's fine.
As someone who's just
sanity?
Say what?
Do I also need to permanently mark off sanity?
No, you're good.
Okay, just thank you, Triss, for your sacrifice.
Yeah, for your
perfectly
sacrifice,
normal
Triss.
to go a little crazy.
It's fine. It's fine. It's all good.
Fine.
It'll be fine. How about how about Rogar? Favorite moment of the night, Rogar.
Gosh. Maybe.
I can't believe it's not Greco-Romo wrestling with Moog. That has to be. Seriously.
That was cool. For sure. I guess maybe Velree juice boxing Zamru at the end there. Impressive.
It was.
But she rolled so many crits, so much damage. And it is much scarier seeing the damage, cumulative.
When you just
like one roll, like almost like a spell,
Yeah. When you roll it all together, it's like, oh my God. It was like 60 points of damage in a round. Like,
how much health did she have?
Zamru?
Yeah.
She had well over 90 hit points that you guys chewed through in a round and a half. No problem.
Me and Velree did like a 90 combined with.
She
was still standing.
Yeah. So no, she was not. She was not a slouch in combat. So it was definitely probably more perilous than you realized at first. But regardless, though, it all worked out in the end. If I had a favorite moment of the night, it was thank God Rogar grabbed a hold of those items and they weren't gone forever. Because I was going to be so sad if all this shit I've been putting in was just gone. I was going to be so upset. It's like, it's gone. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to do something else. Because they don't have the maps. They don't have the tome. But you know what? It was all on Rogar's dexterous fingers. And he managed to pull through.
He had to re-roll it.
He had to re-roll, but he pulled through. By God, he pulled through. So, I was very excited about that. But awesome game, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully everyone outside joined it. All of you guys watching, hope you enjoyed it as well. Do make sure to take out Dan on all of the social media things. We got them listed down in the description. We just saw Velree on the TikToks. She couldn't make it this session, though her presence was very much known. And hopefully we'll find out more about her current condition that I did not reveal to everyone else because she was not present. And we'll see how this goes as well. Regardless, though, thank you all for watching. And of course, like and subscribe if you haven't. And we are looking forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Have a good day.